Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host Khalid, but today it's Friday the 3rd of November and these are the stories that we'll try to decipher during the course of the show. We'll begin, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest as far as Palestine is concerned. As we all know, and as Mr. Netanyahu also had announced, the second phase of the conflict, the war in Gaza, has begun with the ground offensive by the Israeli forces, who, as per the Israeli army spokesperson Daniel Hagari, that he says not only is the ceasefire not on the table, but they have also completed an encirclement of the city of Gaza. This said, the amount of casualties as a result of this conflict, this war, if I might say it, I have crossed 9,000. The world, as far as diplomacy is concerned, is there are statements, there are the movements to and fro. Anthony Blinken, as we speak, is in Israel, and he's going to talk to Netanyahu and others to seek a way forward as far as where this conflict is going. Chilean President Boric has also raised concern. Bahrain has recalled its ambassador to Israel. Antonio Guterres has also severely criticized this war or this conflict in Israel. A lot of things are going on. Pakistan also had its little contribution as far as this very important day is concerned. Today, Yom Shohadai Palestine was observed across Pakistan, in which people raised their voices in solidarity with their Palestinian brethren. This is going to be our first story, the latest developments as far as Palestine are concerned. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the general elections in Pakistan. Now, 8th of February is the date that has been convened, that has been decided upon as far as the national and the provincial elections in 4 provinces of Pakistan is concerned. The decision has been taken in a meeting between President of Pakistan, Dr. Arif Alvi, and a delegation that was led by Chief Election Commissioner Sikandar Sultan Raja yesterday. A notification in this regard has also been taken out. Let's come to our next story, and that concerns the relations between Pakistan and Italy, specifically in the trade sector and also the cultural people-to-people contact. We'll be trying to understand where we are as far as our cooperation with Italy is concerned. Then we are going to talk about smog in New Delhi and Lahore. As far as New Delhi is concerned, there is a thick layer of smog starting from today. Schools have been ordered to be shut for 2 days. The air category has severely deteriorated, and it is followed closely by Lahore. Smog has also engulfed Lahore. The Lahore High Court has also asked for an explanation as far as what are the measures that are being taken as far as the industries that are behind this pollution, and which increase the level of smog in cities such as Lahore is also concerned. Then we are going to talk about governments and artificial intelligence companies who have reached an agreement to test new AI models. They have come to this conclusion at a artificial intelligence summit that was recently held in the United Kingdom. Leading AI developers have agreed to work with governments to test new frontier models before they are released to help manage the risks of the rapidly developing technology. On that front, Elon Musk also did talk on the occasion, but X or Twitter is also releasing its a new version of AI very, very soon, in fact in the next couple of hours or days. Let's begin with our first segment, ladies and gentlemen, and that concerns Palestine, Israel, the number of casualties that have crossed 9,000, development on the diplomatic front that is going on. Israel that is adamant that it does not want to move towards any kind of ceasefire. In fact, Netanyahu claims that the second phase of the war has begun with the ground offensive, and that the Gaza has completely been encircled. In all of this, there are countries that stand in solidarity with Palestine, that include Pakistan as well. Yom Shohadai Palestine or Palestine was observed across the country today. The call to this was made by the Special Representative of the Prime Minister on Interfaith Harmony and Chairman Pakistan Ulema Council Hafiz Tahir Mahmood Ashrafi. To highlight a lot of these details, we've been joined by our guest. He's Brigadier Retired Mohammed Zeeshan, a defense analyst. He's in the studio. Thank you very much, sir, to have joined us.
Thank you.
What is going to happen now that the second phase has begun, as per Netanyahu, as per the Israeli army spokesperson, who says that Gaza has completely been encircled and there is no question of ceasefire? What are you expecting?
Thank you, Omar, for inviting me on this burning subject. Before I start on what's the military situation and what is going to happen in Gaza militarily, I just want to highlight one thing, that recently unconditional $14.3 billion were released by United States to Israel as a support.
But it has been released, it has not yet been, you know, signed as a law, because apparently it was backed by the Republicans, but now it has to go and be also approved by the Democrats and President Joe Biden. Will they do that is a question mark.
Yes, but I'm just highlighting it.
Yes.
Just to, you know, create a context of support.
Understood.
Which Israel is getting from United States. Just to also keep that context clearer, that up till now, United States has given $234 billion to Israel in military aid only. Not in this time, but it's the accumulated figure. So coming back to the military situation, in terms of the operational strategy of Israel, they have softened up Gaza. They have inflicted heavy casualties on Hamas, let alone the civilians. They have targeted the military capability of Hamas in order to facilitate the ground offensive. That's a very usual preliminary operation which is done through indirect means like air and missile strikes. Now they have also sanitized Gaza, which is the blockade from, you know, land, sea and air. There is nothing going in, there is nothing coming out. So that's kind of an ideal scenario for any military to operate in going into a ground offensive. So they have created that advantage for themselves. However, there is a disadvantage for the ground offensive. The Gaza is a built-up area, and its most part of it are now in shape of rubble. So the guerrilla tactics which Hamas is likely to employ in order to defend and fight the invading ground forces of Israel, they will have certain advantage, and Israel is likely to receive casualties also.
Now, I would like to add something to it. Now, Hamas's military wing, the Qassam brigades, have warned that Gaza will be the curse of history for Israel, and that Israeli soldiers entering the enclave will go back in black bags. Now, you were talking about the reaction by Hamas, so I just wanted to add to that.
I will just refer to the Second World War Battle of Stalingrad, where a very large, outnumbering the Russians in Stalingrad, a very large German army was defeated in the city of Stalingrad. They could not capture it for over a year, and then they had to withdraw. So, however, saying all this, Israel has a lot of advantage against Hamas. They will be going in with their armor protections, with using their tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, against which Hamas may have very less options to target. Because from small arms fire, from machine gun fire, from even shoulder-fired rockets, those vehicles will protect Israeli soldiers. However, Hamas may create traps for them, and that is going to create problems for the Israeli military. But the question here is what Israeli military objectives are. The Israeli military objectives are not to overrun, in my opinion, they are not to overrun Gaza as a normal attack tactics between two regular armies. They know what they are up against. It's a guerrilla tactics which Hamas is going to use. This invasion is likely to restrict itself in the northern and eastern parts of Gaza. It will not go very deep. It will be spread laterally more, but it will not go very deep into Gaza.
What is the end game?
The end game is basically based on three aspects. First of all, in terms of military, up till now the rough estimates are that Israel has dropped 12,000 tons of explosives on Gaza. That's a very expensive affair, even for Israel with the backing of United States. So how long they can continue the military strikes or ground offensive with this intensity, that has to be seen. So it is likely that in a week or maximum 2 weeks time, there will be a lower intensity coming on Gaza. Secondly, the aspect where it is leading to depends upon what is happening in the political and diplomatic domain around the world. What we have seen here, if I just summarize into one statement, that US influence usually, which used to be effective in United Nations, has not been so effective this time. So it's a receding influence of United States. However, the Europeans have supported up till now what Israel is doing, because they believe, and they term it, that the Hamas attack was an act of terrorism. That act of terrorism now has gone back in the picture, and now the picture is about the human suffering. And Europeans, the kind of pressure they are feeling due to the protest, European Union has recently announced that we will be sending aid for civilians in Gaza. So European patience threshold for this barbaric act or the offensive of Israel is also limited. How long they will accept Israeli atrocities against Gaza civilians, that has to be seen, but it may not be very far away, that threshold.
Yesterday, Brigadier Saab, 7 UN special rapporteurs issued a statement calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, and they said, I quote, that Palestinians face a grave risk of genocide. Hasn't a genocide already begun?
Frankly speaking, Omar, genocide is a relative term. It is used where it is felt that it is, converging with the policy of the great powers. So right now, the term of genocide will not be accepted by United States and some other major allies in Europe. However, if you have seen that France is not siding with most of the European countries, aligning themselves behind United States in support of Israel. So all these things are there, and we have seen the protests in United States itself. One thing I want to also highlight here, that US elections are
next year
are coming, and there are polls which say that 55% people are terming it as a grave for the democratic politics. So this aspect will also be there in the minds of US administration under President Joe Biden, because their elections will be impacted. Everything is, in terms of geopolitics, in terms of the human sufferings, everything is likely to grow in its impact upon the blatant violation of all the UN regulations by Israel.
Now, speaking of Israel, do you feel there are going to be political implications in the positive or the negative for the Netanyahu-backed far-right government? I'd like to add to the UN rapporteur's statement that talks about genocide. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights also has said that these attacks could amount to war crimes given the number of civil casualties and the scale of destruction. These two statements together, show a blatant, as you yourself said, disregard for any law, any human rights of whichever kind you can put forward. Can the Israeli government have a setback as a result of this attack?
There are pretty good chances that the slim majority of Netanyahu government may face a revolt within the parliament. There are good chances. Reason why? This is my opinion, but the reason is based on the Jews around the world and even in Israel voicing, protesting against,
and siding with the Palestinians.
Siding with the Palestinians, and they are saying that we are not with Zionism. So they are terming, they are trying to say that Zionism is the reason why this is happening. And Netanyahu is the, figurehead the Prime Minister of Israel right now, who is the engine of that strategy. So the Jews themselves around the world are against it. And that is going to be something, how Netanyahu government will handle it, that has to be seen. However, we must try and understand that this conflict has political, military and economic repercussions, consequences, influences. As I said earlier, that the Europeans believe that the Hamas attack of 7th October was act of terrorism. But when you when you see the other side, Hamas says that since 2008, this is the 5th assault Hamas has made against Israel directly. Out of these 5, assaults, every time the reason Hamas has given, which they have repeated this time also, is that this blockade is killing us economically, socially. Everyone sensible around the globe is also talking about that the strategy of blockade, which is continuing since last almost 15 years against Gaza, is not a viable strategy. And even if you diffuse the situation after a few weeks or months right now, it is bound to happen again. Because, one thing which I read in the media was that 5th of September 2023, Israel blocked the export portal of Gaza. So even 1 month before this attack,
there was certain planning going on.
I don't say planning going on, but I say that that act of blocking the access of Gaza exports with the rest of the world, that may be one of the reason why Hamas has gone so aggressively against Israel on 7th of October.
No, Brigadier Saab, you say access restricted as far as Gaza is concerned. Let's talk of the restriction in access to fuel, to water, electricity, food, and even this certain number of Palestinians have been able to go out of Palestine or Gaza have been the ones who have had dual nationality or those who are of a certain age, and the number is very small as far as that is concerned. I'd like to refer to a doctor at the Al Shifa hospital in Gaza who describes the situation as beyond catastrophic. He says the Palestinian Health Ministry, quoting that ministry, the doctor says that 16 out of 35 hospitals in Gaza are out of service. The Israeli military official also says fuel could be allowed into the enclave, but Prime Minister's office has responded that there is no plan being discussed. What happens, if you restrict all of these elements to the people of Gaza? That includes women who are pregnant or about to give birth, that includes children, that includes the elderly. What are you looking at? Exactly the situation that the Jews of quote unquote Israel went through after the Second World War.
The previous generation of Israelis who were brought from Europe and settled here in this part of the land, they were taught how to handle the Arabs in general and Palestinians in particular. I will just quote the history that in 1917, British Prime Minister wrote a letter to Rothschild, which became the first document from where the Israeli state, came into existence. In 1930, the Arabs revolted against the settlements of Jews. When the Arabs revolted, what British army did in 1930? They razed hundreds of villages of Arabs to the ground. They destroyed the economic hubs of Arabs in that part of the land. And that is the strategy followed even today by the state of Israel. Every time when there is an intifada, every time when there is a conflict between Palestinians and Israelis, Israelis make it a reason and they destroy the livelihood and the settlements, the houses, the buildings of West Bank also and in Gaza also. As you now refer to that genocide and economic blockade, creating a situation where people are forced to flee. There are certain reports, I cannot confirm, or I don't have a very credible source to refer here. However, there are reports that Israel has a plan to establish a tent city in Sinai for the refugees of Gaza. And then a proper city will be established there in Sinai for Palestinians, throwing out the 2.3 million Palestinian Muslims from Gaza into Sinai.
So that the Israeli settlers can then come and settle in Gaza, in that area, which has been vacated now through pressure, through the barbarism of the Israeli forces.
Yes. And people are also blaming United States, and especially the current President Joe Biden, that the two-state solution, that solution has not been pushed down the throat of Israel very aggressively or with lot of force by United States, because that two-state solution was considered to be one aspect where we could have seen a better relationship between Palestinians and Israelis and ceasing of violence. So that is also very important, which should be considered.
Last question, I'd like a short answer to that. Zeeshan Saab, as far as diplomacy is concerned, can we give diplomacy a chance? Is there a chance for diplomatic efforts to yield some kind of result, where Anthony Blinken meets with the Jordanian foreign minister? Then the Chilean president also has raised concerns about this. Bahrain recalls its ambassador. Iranian leader Khamenei says Israel is becoming helpless and confused and will be silenced without US support. Thailand is in talks with Iran and other governments to secure the release of 23 of its citizens. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for the protection of all civilians in Gaza, terming the situation as a humanitarian catastrophe, quote unquote. UAE has also warned that there is a real risk of a regional spillover over Israel's war in Gaza. All of these statements put together, what chance do you see for diplomacy to have an effect?
Ultimately, the solution will come through diplomacy, because it is not between Israelis and Palestinians alone. However, what we need to understand is that diplomacy takes some time to come to certain conclusions and give certain results.
But do we have that time? Do the Palestinians have that time?
That is the calculation of Israel, that they want to use that time to their maximum advantage. They want, their minimum aim is to destroy Hamas's military capability and disintegrate.
At the behest of thousands of people?
Yes, that's the worst part of it, that they don't care about people, especially the children and women who are being killed and injured in this conflict. So the Israelis must have assessed that what time it will take for the international community to develop a diplomatic and political pressure onto United States, when Israelis will be told that yes, this is it, you have to stop. So they will use that time to get their objective. Minimum, it is to deplete Hamas's capability as a military organized force, and maximum is to shift or force the Palestinians out of Gaza into Sinai and then annex as much possible area they can annex.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope it doesn't come to that. I really also hope that the world understands the severity and the whole magnitude of this war that could escalate and that could envelop other countries in the region as well. Thank you so very much, Brigadier Retired Mohammad Zeeshan Saab, Defence Analyst, to have joined us, to have come all the way to the studios and to have had such an intelligent recourse as far as what needs to be done and what is being done as far as this Israeli barbarity on Palestine is concerned. Thank you, sir, to have joined us. Pleasure to have you here. Let's come to our second story, and that concerns the elections in Pakistan. It has been now decided that the elections in the National Assembly as well as the 4 provincial assemblies are going to be held on the 8th of February this year. This has been decided in a meeting that was held between the President of Pakistan, Dr. Arif Alvi, and a delegation that was led by Chief Election Commissioner Sikandar Sultan Raja yesterday in Islamabad. The notification was also then taken out that you can see in the window right here. Kanwar Dilshad, former Secretary Election Commission of Pakistan, joins us online. Dilshad sahab, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you always when it concerns important issues concerning Pakistan. The date now has come out as far as the elections, national and provincial, are concerned. That is the 8th of February. What are the moves that the Election Commission of Pakistan will undertake in the coming days and weeks?
In principle, Election Commission of Pakistan has already agreed to hold election on February 8th. And the background of this roadmap of the election is on 17th August. You will remember that on 17th August, Election Commission of Pakistan declared in a press conference that the Election Commission of Pakistan is making the delimitation afresh under the Article 151, that Election Commission of Pakistan is obliged to delimitation after the notification of the census. So, and Election Commission of Pakistan are also announced that after the completion of the delimitation on 30th November, the Election Commission of Pakistan will issue the election schedule, and it is expected that the election will be held at the end of the January. This was the roadmap of the Election Commission of Pakistan, and on ground, Election Commission of Pakistan issued the notification on the direction of the election of the Supreme Court of Pakistan that the Election Commission is of the view that the election should be held on 11th February this year or next year. But the Supreme Court of Pakistan ordered the Election Commission of Pakistan that the command of the Article 48 indicated that the election date would be announced by the President of Pakistan. So Election Commission of Pakistan should meet the President of Pakistan, and in consultation with the President of Pakistan, the date of the election should be entertained. Yes, should be appointed. But the Election Commission of Pakistan argued before the Supreme Court of Pakistan that under the section of the 57, the Election Commission of Pakistan is obliged to appoint the date of the election. So we are not bound to take confidence of the President of Pakistan on the issue of the date. But the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, in the interest of the state, he ordered the Election Commission of Pakistan that they should immediately meet the President of Pakistan, and consultation may be made with the President of Pakistan under Article 48, subsection 4. And the President is obliged to appoint the date of the election when the assemblies are dissolved. So on the direction of the Chief Justice of Pakistan, the Honorable Chief Election Commissioner and their members met the President of Pakistan in the presence of the Attorney General of Pakistan, and they decided that the election should be held on 8th February, and Election Commission of Pakistan agreed. So it is a very good landmark in the history of the election that the President of Pakistan, Chief Justice of Pakistan, Attorney General of Pakistan are on the same page to appoint the date of the election. It is a good assignment, and all the political parties are agreed that the elections are being held on 8th February. So we are very much obliged to the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, President of Pakistan, Chief Election Commissioner, and Attorney General of Pakistan. They agreed on the appointment of the date. So this is the land history of the Election Commission of Pakistan. But the credit goes to the Chief Justice of Pakistan, and he ordered that the President should be on board under the Article 48, subsection 4. So President is pleased. Election Commission of Pakistan agreed, and the state and the Supreme Court of Pakistan, all the matters have been resolved. Now the election will be held on 8th February, and whole the roadmap of the election will be completed on 25th February, and new elected government will take oath on the 28th February or 24th February. So this is a very good assignment, and the next elected government would be in power in the last week of the February.
Now, Dilshad Sahab, I'd like to refer to what Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Qazi Faiz Isa, also said. He said the court should not adopt the role of institutions, and he also said that the Supreme Court only facilitated the Election Commission of Pakistan and the President in reaching a conclusion, which of course gives the onus of responsibility of elections to the Election Commission of Pakistan, contrary to what a lot of statements that had been emanating on different forms of media in the last couple of months is concerned. How important is the empowerment of the Election Commission of Pakistan now that the elections are also underway and about to happen in a couple of weeks' time?
Under the present Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. Sultan Raza, is a very powerful Chief Election Commissioner of Pakistan, and he knows the plus of the democracy and the electoral system. So in the presence of the Chief Election Commissioner, the election will be held in fair, and the spirit of the election is that the neutrality, impartiality, and objectivity. Under the Article 218, the Election Commission of Pakistan is fully aware of their duty. On the other hand, Election Commission of Pakistan has full power under Article 220, and all the services of Pakistan, including all stakeholders, are bound to assist Election Commission of Pakistan to hold the election free and fair. So all the caretaker governments, including the provincial governments, I am also the part of the provincial government as a Minister for Law and Parliamentary Affairs. I know that the whole the bureaucracy and will support the Election Commission of Pakistan in the Punjab and the other provinces. On the other side, the federal government is also will support the Election Commission of Pakistan under the Article 220. On the other hand, the Election Commission of Pakistan has also planning to call upon the armies under the Article 245, and the army will take over the polling station, and they will look after the law and order situation. So it is my point of view that the election will be held in very fair manner. Today, the Chief Justice of Pakistan has taken a bold step that the media should not create confusion and doubt about the election activities. It is a very good statement, very good remarks of the Chief Justice of Pakistan, and you will be surprised that in India, no media house, no media person can criticize the Election Commission of India's conduct. It is also written in their code of conduct that no media, no political party cannot be criticized the activities and conduct of the Election Commission of India. So there are peaceful elections are being held in India. So on the same pattern, the Chief Justice of Pakistan has ordered today that no confusion should be created about the conduct of the elections.
All right, Dilshad Sahab, how important will be the role of the Election Commission of Pakistan to ensure a level playing field for all the political parties that will be taking part in these elections?
Yes, I also mentioned the history of the election, and the election will be held in a very fair manner, and I know the plus of the election activities. It is understood that the election will be held in a very peaceful manner, and all the political parties would participate in the election, as mentioned by the Chief Election Commissioner yesterday, that all political parties who are registered with the Election Commission of Pakistan, they can take the part in the election. They will conduct the election, and there will be no hindrance about their way, and Election Commission of Pakistan will support them, and that there is no differences. And he also mentioned that the symbol of the PTI would be printed on the ballot papers. This is a very good indication from the Chief Election Commissioner that all political parties can take part in the election activities.
Kanwar Dilshad Saab, you know, the key words whenever there are election is free, fair and inclusive elections. And of course, the role of the Election Commission has always been paramount, important whenever the elections are held. A lot of international media will also be covering these elections, will be here in Pakistan during that time period. Will they be facilitated under the Election Commission of Pakistan? Will a special cell be made for the international media for the elections so that they can get the timely results of the national and provincial assemblies?
Election Commission of Pakistan, in consultation with the political party under Section 233, and they've made a very comprehensive code of conduct for national and international observers. So all these international observers will obey the code of conduct, which has already been passed by the Election Commission of Pakistan. They have the social media and the other NGOs and political activists, they will follow the code of conduct as Election Commission of Pakistan issued the code of conduct. And this is the part of the act. And this is the part of act. And those who will violate the code of conduct, they will be punished under the section of 233, 232, and they will face the consequences.
All right, Kanwar Dilshad Saab, thank you very much to have joined us, to have given us such immense detail as far as the process of the elections from today onwards. Of course, the date has been announced, that is of the 8th of February 2024, and from now onwards, how important will be the role of the Election Commission of Pakistan, how important has been the role of the Election Commission of Pakistan in the recent past and of course in the distant past as well. Let's come to our third segment, and that concerns Italy, Pakistan and the relations between the two. A lot of questions arise when it comes to Pakistanis in Italy or Italians in Pakistan, the cooperation in different fields. Are the companies, Italian companies, interested in investing in Pakistan? What are the methodologies that are used for the Italian companies to come to Pakistan? What are the facilitating methodologies that are being given by the Pakistan's embassy in Italy in that regard? We've been joined by Asif Raza. He's the president of Pakistanis Federation Italy. He's online with us all the way from Italy. Thank you very much, Asif Raza Saab, to have joined us. How important do you feel has been the role of let's begin with the people-to-people contact, the Pakistani diaspora in Italy, and how have they been able to bridge the contact between Italy and Pakistan through their presence in Italy, and how important has been their contribution to Italy as well?
Yeah, the Pakistani diaspora here living in Italy is based from last 30 years. We are going to second generations, so I think Italian diaspora is doing his best to do for Pakistan, also for himself, and I think it's not easy to work here in Italy because it's a very difficult country, the cultural point of view. So here we are very united and try to help each other to going well, and our diaspora here in Italy is going well now. I think the second generation is going also in the up class and going in business, and because the first barrier was the language, because here in Italy nobody speak English. Now the high schools are a little compulsory English. So if we know now, I was speak well, but I forget my English living here in Italy, because you have to speak only English, only Italian language here. So we are doing our best to do good for Pakistan and also for our country here.
Okay, Asif Saab, final question. When it comes to trade between Italy and Pakistan, how important are the different avenues of the trade and commercial relations between both the countries? Do you feel there is a scope for improvement?
It's going well with Pakistan. The commercial relations are doing very well. From the last 10 years, growth rate is very, very high, and we are going to the second largest partner after UK. Firstly, it was Germany and France, and now Italian is our main partner. Is going to main partner a commercial point of view, and there are very good indications about also remittances. Now we are going to 1 billion from Pakistan to Italy. It's a very good sign for Pakistan and also for our diaspora.
Okay, thank you very much, Asif Raza Saab, President, Pakistan Federation, Italy, to have joined us all the way from Italy and to have highlighted some of the aspects of the relationship between Pakistan and Italy, whether it be the diaspora that is there, that is contributing to Italy and the strengthening of Italy as a country, or whether it be the economic relations between Pakistan and Italy. Let's come to our last two stories very quickly. The first concerns smog. Smog, as always in this part of the year, always engulfs India and always engulfs Lahore. Now, New Delhi has again topped a real-time list of the world's most polluted cities compiled by the Swiss group IQ Air, which puts the Indian capital's AQI at 640 in the hazardous category on Friday, followed by 335 in the Pakistani city of Lahore. Although the difference is quite apparent, nevertheless Lahore is also quite engulfed as far as that is concerned. Many of the 20 million residents in New Delhi have complained of irritation in the eyes, and this is exactly what happens in Lahore as well around this time. Farmers in the northern states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh typically burn the crop waste after harvesting in October to clear their fields before sowing with the crops a few weeks later, and that is what happens, that is what contributes to the smog. Coming to Pakistan, the Lahore High Court has also today directed authorities to seal the factories who are emitting smoke through the province as a measure to address the increasing smog levels. The court's directive has come on the heels of its recent instructions to the Punjab caretaker government seeking immediate actions to mitigate the hazardous air quality, because of course Lahore's air quality is receding, and you can see the images in the parallel window. Let's come to our last story, and that concerns artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, and summit of developers of artificial intelligence and leaders that was held in the United Kingdom, where the governments and these developers have agreed on testing to help manage risks. Attendees have agreed the need to pre-release model testing. The governments included US and China who were there. China was also there, signing a declaration, and British leader Rishi Sunak says the summit tipped the balance in the favor of humanity. Elon Musk also told Sunak that 80% of chance was that AI will be a force for good. Well, let's see, X that Elon Musk also is in charge of is going to take out its own artificial intelligence version that is called AIX. Let's see how these things go. The summit was brought together around 100 politicians, academics and tech executives to plot a way forward for technology that could transform the way companies, societies and economies operate, with some hoping to establish an independent body to provide global oversight. AI is some technology that a lot of people are using, even people in Pakistan are using. But the fact remains that to which extent should artificial intelligence be used? What are the dangers of the artificial intelligence? And how one day, as a lot of experts say, if not controlled properly, AI could overwhelmingly take over human power and the work that the normal human beings do. So that is a cause of concern, and that is what the different governments are trying to ascertain in order to move forward in a balanced environment, and that is why the summit also took place. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of today's newsroom. This is the end of the week. It's a Friday. We'll see you inshallah on Monday with new story segments that pertain to us, you and Pakistan. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. Pray for Palestine whenever you can. Raise your voice for Palestine in whichever capacity you can, and at the same time be also very careful if you're in Lahore in the vicinity as far as the smog is concerned, and also for other issues concerning your health as well. Have a great weekend. We'll see you inshallah on Monday.